Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that look like those heathen. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. All right, and our days are numbered as far as able to bring out this truth in this way, especially speaking on the topics and the people that you see before the screen. These are the main faces that you see that represent the WEF, the World Economic Forum. These are unelected officials who completely control your governments. And no one voted for these people. Just like within your government, you have unelected officials that rule over you. For example, here in America, you have the Federal Reserve and the IRS, which are completely independently owned and are not attached to your government in any way whatsoever. But yet, the American people allow these entities to govern them and rule them and act as a fourth branch of government, even cause people to go to prison if they fail to meet their standards, all right? If they fail to live up to whatever oppression that they're placing upon them. All right, so that leads me to this scripture. This is Job 20:4, and it reads, "Knowest thou not of this of old, since man was placed upon earth? The triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his heads reach unto the clouds, yet shall he perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen them shall say, Where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision in the night." All right. Now, dreams can be visions, or they can be simply just like the mist and just disappear into the night and mean nothing at all. But one thing is for sure, these people, they will disappear as their own dung as you flush it down the toilet. Their time is short. And the scary thing is that they're going to wreak a lot of havoc and cause a lot of oppression before their demise. And their demise is at hand. So all these things are about to happen. They're all about to happen. So I'm going to play a video. And the lady is going to go into what they're planning to do. All right. As far as the AI and the new digital backed currency system. Well, it's just not going to just be digital currency. It's going to come with a social construct. Meaning everything that you do, say, all right, every keyboard stroke to go on the internet, you won't be able to buy, sell, or do anything, all right, save you have this MARK, this charagma. We're going to go into that too. All right, so all this orchestrated chaos in the West with all the refugees and the invasion into America and all the wars and the famine that are going on around the world that America and NATO and the European Union is involved in, is all going to lead to this critical moment of what they call Agenda 23 or 24, and they plan to do this by 2030. If you're really paying attention to what's going on in the world, and you think that America and the powers that be could exist that much longer, could exist another 6 years, all right, you are completely delusional and out of your mind. All right, these people will be dropping bombs and pew-pewing each other before it could ever reach that. And that's how we know the Lord is close to coming back, because if the Lord does not come back soon, there will be no flesh left to save. These people on the screen want you to eat bugs. They don't want you to have turkey bacon and turkey and chicken and lamb and goat and cows or bison. They don't want you to have pineapples and bananas and greens and collard greens and spinach turnips and carrots and, beets and berries and blueberries and strawberries. They want you to eat the bugs. As this weirdo Klaus Schwab. All right. These people want you to eat bugs. And if you ever seen that movie, Snowpiercer, these will be the people on the front of the train, eating sushi, chicken, they got gardens where they're actually growing vegetables and fruits. Where everyone in the back is eating Jello blocks, all right, made full of roaches and crickets and water bugs and or maggots and all sorts of other things. Protein blocks made of Jello. That's what you eat in the back. That's what these people are planning. So without any further ado, let's switch to this. All right. And this is video is put up by the Library of Wealth. Nathaniel, my nephew, fellow believer in Yahweh Bashim Awashai, sent this to me. So I'm going to play this video. And actually just let it play and then read some scriptures at the end of it. It's a 10-minute video, so we'll probably play about, 6 to 8 minutes of it. So here we go.
Western countries, all on board for Agenda 2030. The people in charge of climate finance for the UN, Mike Bloomberg, the billionaire, and Mark Carney. I think your viewers know enough about Mark Carney to know why that's insane. And to think that Mark Carney and Jamie Dimon and Mike Bloomberg and Bill Gates and all of these guys just care so much about the planet and not about robbing you of all of your wealth, which is what they've spent their entire careers doing. Remember how Jamie Dimon a few months ago was like, well, we should just seize people's private property for, climate change policy. Remember that? Like, private property doesn't exist to Jamie Dimon. If his friends at Goldman Sachs, who basically designed all this crap that the UN is backing and green finance and blue finance for Mother Earth and whatever, if those projects decide that they want your property, I guess they'll just turn off your money or whatever and take it. I mean, do you really want to give these guys total control?
Today we have Whitney Webb, discussing the major events coming in the months ahead and why it's much worse than people think. Artificial intelligence has emerged, offering a massive advantage in productivity and innovation. Yet there's a very disturbing aspect to AI. It can be wielded as a means of control and manipulation. Whitney Webb's recent interview sheds light on this dual nature of AI, cautioning against its misuse in the wrong hands and its capacity for unprecedented manipulation when armed with extensive data, and why this is unlike anything we've seen in history. Let's get right into the video with Whitney Webb as she gives her prediction for what's coming in the days and weeks ahead.
Well, now we've basically been taken over by corporations, and how the business of the businesses of the world is our business. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said.
I like to think it's what he said.
The UN's not your friend, guys. What we have right now is them literally tokenizing all their existing rackets to move it into this new fourth industrial revolution paradigm. That's literally what is happening across the board, and people just don't recognize it. And they're cloaking it in all this stuff, specifically with SDGs and Agenda 2030. It's this will make a better world. And then you actually look at it and it's this is insane. Why are all bankers in charge of this? I hate it so much. But I mean, you go back into the UN, the UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, at the end of the 90s was yeah, so how we used to be at least viewed as the public sector, all the public sectors of the world all coming together to democratically vote on stuff. There's so much I could say. Anyway, I could literally go on for hours and be here's an example of why you should never trust the bankers, and still there's going to be that handful of people with the hashtag Jerome Powell is my pal and Jamie Dimon is my knight in shining armor. And sometimes you just can't reach people, dude, In order to create this space where they want to like push people into this new system, there's going to be chaos and there's going to be instability. And so the comfort and convenience that keeps people asleep will be disrupted. What people do in that point in time is the most critical about this whole thing, about how it plays out. Seriously, like that is the most important window. And again, that is why it's so important to be local. Because, okay, there's a big cyber tech on the financial system. The internet goes down for a couple of days. What are people going to do? They're going to go out in the street and look for answers, figure out what's going on. This is why it's important to know what's going on and couple that with having, connections in your local community so you can direct people about what needs to be done and what's happening at that point in time. It's like very important. Well, also the internet, when it turns back on, isn't going to be like the internet now at all. No. They're going to put AI in charge of like literally all content. Your ID is going to be tied to not just everything you post online, but everything you read and consume, every site you visit.
And that was the point. That was the part. And I'm glad that the YouTube didn't put a commercial in before she said that. All right. Because everything that you say and do, this happy little group of workers, every keystroke, everything in their personal lives away from when they're at work, when they're on their computers and off their computers, will be monitored by this AI. All right. Let's go to the book of Revelation. Because when the chaos, when the lights go out and everything fails and all the insurrections and the civil war and all the bloodbath and the craziness in America, they're going to come with the solution to fix everything. All right? Forgive all debts and all this other stuff. All you have to do is bend the knee and take this thing. All right? And this thing was written thousands of years before it happened. All right? On the island of Patmos, the Lord gave this vision to the Apostle John. All right? And this is Revelation 13. And I'm going to start at verse 16. And it reads, I'll start at 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the BESAT, and the image of the BESAT should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the BEST should be killed. And he caused of all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a MARK, a charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. Why? Because you won't be able to go online, you won't be able to buy, you won't be able to sell, you will not be able to trade, you will not be able to travel, save you have this charagma. Right? So it's definitely not sin for anyone who's foolish enough or stupid enough to believe that, or wicked enough to try and tell people that that's the answer. And it's definitely not sex with the so-called white woman. It's madness. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the charagma, or the name of the BESAT, or the number of his name. Here was wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the BEST, for it is the number of a man, that man being Esau Edom. All right. His number is 666. All right. So this whole thing that she's talking about, which is being brought on by these bankers who are all underlings for the WEF and part of the WEF, they're all a part of this. All right. And she mentioned Jamie Dimon. I actually used to sit at that man's kitchen table and have coffee with him and his family in the mornings because his wife and his daughters were clients of mine. I had no idea how close to wickedness I was. The Lord does everything, all right, and everything that you go through in all your life experiences, all right, or for a reason. And I remember asking him about trade, all right, the stock market, and how someone who's new to it and just had a little bit of money to start, what was the best way to make money? And you know what? He told me, this may sound negative to you, but I would invest in the prisons. And I shut down because I already knew that even back then, before even being fully into this truth, I knew that the prisons, the privately owned prisons, were set up to exploit the people of the Lord. Because as a prophecy said that they would be the ones locked in prison houses. Jewish people weren't the ones locked in prison houses and hidden away. There's Isaiah 42 and 22. Matter of fact, let me read it. Now that I said it, let me go ahead and read it. All right, because the prison houses aren't full of Finkelsteins and Steins and Kleins and Goldsmiths, Goldbergs, Burges, Waldorfs, Kaufmans. That's not the list of inmates' names. They don't fit this prophecy, like they don't fit any of the prophecies except for the prophecies that a people would steal the land of Israel and claim to be the Israelites. They fit those to the T. All right. But this is Isaiah 42 and 22, and it reads, "This is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are all hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore." All right. Many of them are locked up of fraudulent statutes and codes that are not even lawful, that are actually illegal under the Constitution. But yet, these very statutes and codes, what they're using, which are of a foreign entity in America, because that's definitely what the IRS uses in Title 4D, family support, child support laws are all of a foreign entity, and it is illegal to put American citizens under foreign treaties. This is why the prison houses are so full. Contractual law. And now that law will be controlled by AI and the charagma. You won't be able to go on the internet. You would definitely not be able to put up video content like this. I'm already a target for speaking the truth. I've spoken no lies. I've spoken no slander. I've made no threats. Yet, there's someone on the reverse side of the screen looking at me right now, more likely than not. And all the men of the Lord who are bold enough to risk their lives and their freedom, to those who stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. All right? It's going to come down to some very dark things that they plan to do to us. I wasn't, but I'm going to go ahead and read this anyway. I read it on the line. This came from my daughter. All right? And she, my daughter has, the Lord blesses her or gives her these dreams, these visions, and I don't know if it's a curse or a blessing. All right? But I had a dream last night myself as I'm searching for her there it is. Our conversation, I got it. And there were two women too. I would assume they were Judite women, both very attractive. One kind of medium brown, the other one really chocolate brown, a lot darker. Both really pretty, and I knew them both. All right. And one of them I actually dealt with, and I recognized them for other dreams. This is the crazy part. All right. And I've never met these women in person at all. I only know these women from dreams. All right. And they both were in it, and one was unruly and the other one was kind of crazy. And I was actually in a meeting with brothers, and we were doing some studying. And all of a sudden, they were on the other end of the room, and they broke out fighting. And the darker one pulled out a knife and sliced the other one, and then stabbed her in right in the heart, not from the front but from the side, right under her armpit. She is like, it's like, and it's funny because here's the crazy part. In the dream that I had prior to that one, I was actually teaching her knife fighting. So she knew exactly what to do. It's insane. Yeah, I mean, the Lord just works in mysterious ways. And I just had to share that because that happened and then, so it's going to be really crazy and bloody out here if you don't get in line with the Lord, man. And my daughter read this, and this is how we know that they're going to eventually come for the men of the Lord, all right? But my daughter sent me this, and it just simply said, it didn't say hello or anything. It just, bam, it just came. It said, "I had a dream about you last night." It says, are really about you, and this dream was significant. I dreamt you had been arrested and you were in a holding room being filmed on national TV, and the whole world was watching. You were surrounded by armed guards, a camera crews, and you were repeating, "He's coming." And people were trying to interview you, but you just kept repeating, "He's coming." Then your eyes started glowing bright yellow and the camera shut off. Yahweh Ba'ashem Nabashai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash Barakatah. That was from my daughter. I can't call her my baby girl anymore. She's a whole woman with the daughter of her own now. Right? And I was just like, wow. I said, something like this is very well possible. And Yahabatah, my beloved daughter, Yahweh Ba'ashem Nabashai Barakatah. All right? Because the scriptures say so. Let me go to Wisdom of Solomon. 5. And read verses 1 through 5. And it reads, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and made no account of his labors," because America would not be America without the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. All right? Without the stolen land and all the inventions that were made by Negroes, which white people, so-called white people, put their names upon and own the patents, all right, or took the technology and for themselves, all right, and then lie in the history, covered it up. Book of Patents will reveal exactly what I'm saying to be true, though. All right, it says, "And when they see it, they shall be troubled with fear, and shall be amazed at the strangers of his salvation, and so far beyond all that they look for." So when the Lord returns and starts saving the Israelites and starts changing them in an instant, in a moment, and we start getting those heavily indestructible, immortal bodies, they're going to be stricken with fear. "And they repenting and groaning for the anguish of spirit shall say in themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb and a reproach." And that will mainly be the unlearned ones, the ones who just think that they're white, all right, who've done no research on when and how that started. That's a fabrication. There's no such thing as white people. Your forefathers made that up in 1681 in Virginia, to be exact. Go do some research on your own. I'm not going to give you every damn thing. All right. "We fools account of this life as madness, and its end to be without honor." All right, because they think they're just going to demonize us because we're in the way of what they're trying to do. Because that's what the problem is. The problem is the prophets, the Bible, and this Constitution. All right. Because the Constitution is actually a solid document if they actually implied it, if they actually employed from it or did what it actually says. Because why? They were trying to mimic the Bible when they did it. Okay? So in a lot of ways, it's a pretty solid document. Okay? And it's also in the way of the NWO, of what they're doing. So they got to get rid of it. And they kind of get around it every day by using all these statutes and codes. That's why they amend everything. All right? But verse 4, "We fools account of this life madness, and its end to be without honor. How was he numbered among the children of power, and his lot among the saints?" Well, we're going to find out who the people of the Lord are, especially when their eyes start glowing yellow or red, and they become invulnerable to your restraints, to your weapons. All right? Because it is going to happen. Very much so. Back to Job 20. In verse 15. "He hath swallowed down riches, he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asps, and viper's tongues shall slay him. He shall not see rivers, the floods of the brooks, or the honey of butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and not swallow them down. According to a substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he have oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he buildeth not." This is the faster they get to finishing, the fullness of their sufficiency, the Lord is going to destroy them. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah Kwadash Kwam Yasharala Shalom.